Good morning, friends. We want to thank you again for watching this video. We hope you are all well wherever you are and hoping that these videos are doing something in your life. We're still continuing discussing about the childless families, but today I want to focus mainly on the in-laws. The in-laws, particularly in the childless families, but I will also be a bit wider, talk about the in-laws, the involvement of the in-laws in the relationship. You'll discover that, like in many African languages, when you get married, they will say you're marrying somebody, extending or enlarging the family. So it's like you are marrying a wife for the family. And for that reason, some people in the family find it their responsibility so that they can fix everything in the relationship. And in the process, they end up getting too much and not giving this couple the opportunity to build their own relationship. Let us remember in Genesis chapter 2, when God created the heaven and the earth, when he created human beings, he particularly said man will leave his parents and be connected to the wife. Now, if you have a scenario of a plug, when you put an electric appliance on the plug, in the plug, and then it takes electricity from that plug. But if you remove it from the plug, it actually disconnects from the electric power that it was using. Then if you have to connect it on something, then it will change and begin to extract power from that thing that you have connected into. Now, that's the same thing that we need to put in the picture. When the Bible says man will leave his mother and father and be connected to the wife, it means you unplug from drawing the power and whatsoever from your parents and whatsoever, and then connect to your partner. It doesn't mean that you should reject your parents or your relatives, but it means you should be connected to the wife. Whatever they give you, it should be advices, and an advice is not a commandment. So when somebody advises, you have a right to take the advice or not take it. So you will evaluate and see that which is helpful for you and leave that which is. So you as in-laws, you should not be offended when you advise and somebody does not follow your advice, because an advice is just somebody, it's just something that you are giving somebody to use, and if they choose not to use it, it must not offend you. Actually, the psychologist is saying if you advise somebody, you are insulting that person's intelligence. You, especially when you are advising that person and expecting the person to take your advice no matter what, you are actually insulting his intelligence. But the best way is to just put across what you're thinking, the advantages and the disadvantages, and allow that person to take the privilege to decide whether he wants to use or not. Then they can use that one. But it doesn't necessarily mean that when you advise, it just has to be the case. Friends, I want to say to you, there are many marriages which are fractured today because of the involvement of the in-laws in the marriages. Parents who are childless, or couples who are childless, they find it difficult because the in-laws will be coming in. The mother-in-law says, I want a grandson. You know, we expected that this family will be enlarged because we have gotten married. And that alone ends up creating a friction between the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law, or the in-law side, because they will also feel offended. I remember one couple that I once helped sometimes. The daughter-in-law ended up telling the mother that I'm not an oven, I don't bake children. They come from God. So if I don't have them, it mustn't be my fault. Actually, she used a very rough language and said, I don't have an oven in me, but I have a you will think what I'm talking about. So therefore, the mother-in-law felt very offended and insulted. But it is because she has been poking in and involving herself too much in this. And they don't give the couple to breathe. Friends, I want to say to you, remember, as I've always said, children are an inheritance from God. If the couple doesn't have children, it mustn't be a problem. And there are sometimes when a couple choose to be childless. I will address that. And the in-laws will influence this couple to a point that they end up thinking that they did the wrong thing. So in-laws, please allow the couple to decide on their own and pray for them wherever you are, but don't influence them. Don't actually control their marriages. These inputs that we are putting, these forces that we are implementing in our children's family, they become a problem, because at the end of the day, they will end up fighting, because the wife will begin to say, you are listening too much to your parents, and the man will end up caught up in between. He doesn't know whether to listen to the wife or to listen to the parents. And bit by bit, they are eating into the relationship with this couple. Now, I'm just standing next to the water here. When I came here, it was very interesting to see that this river has been flowing for many years now. And if you look at this road behind me here, it has been smooth for all the time. But if you look here, there are now some holes that has been opened by this water that has been flowing. The water is just soft and smooth. If you look at the water, if I throw the water on you, actually there will be no pain that you will feel. But over the years, it has opened a very big hole here. And these soft waters are digging into it bit by bit. So this is exactly what happens when you keep on poking your nose into the relationship. It will be corroding the relationship bit by bit. And at the end of the day, it opens big holes like this in the relationship. Children end up divorcing. And when they divorce, it also pains us. But it is because of us who started doing this. If you look at this rock above here, it hasn't been this way. But the water is stepping it bit by bit and cutting it shorter. Over the years, it will no longer be this one, because the water, soft as it is, it will end up cutting it. Now, there is an Adventist song that I like to sing, 156 in the hymn book, that says, Amazwa mabunga washo apunyuko limini inhliziyo iwabambe engakonakalisi. So that means those words that you are saying, they might look simple, but they are actually destructive. And at the end of the day, they will kill your children's relationship. Allow them to work on their own. Allow them to live their life. Just advise, and if they don't take your advice, accept that they saw it that it doesn't work for them. If we want them to be happy, let us allow them to create their own happiness. I wish the in-laws, the sisters-in-laws, the mother-in-laws, the fathers, the brothers-in-laws all over, you can understand this and leave the couple to shape up their own life at their own time. It is my wish and my prayer, friends, that we can learn to focus in our own relationships. While you are busy focusing on your brother or your sister's relationship, yours is failing wherever it is. So focus on yours and leave theirs alone so they can build. Just advise and leave them to decide if they want to take it or not. Thank you so much. I love you all, and hoping that God will bless you and learn lessons out of what we have just said. Thank you.